silence it or turn it off completely. It is your choice, as long as it doesn't ring. That is fine by me. So, hello, I am Carol Jean Clark. I'm a board member at Dominion Stage. I was lucky enough to read many of the fabulous plays on the playwriting competition committee alongside Rebecca Harris, who you met at the front door, and Matthew Randall, who also is our director for this evening and next week's shows. Tonight, we are here to celebrate the one-act play winners of Dominion Stage's second annual playwright competition. Chuck Smith, go ahead, give her a break. And Janet Sarno, who join us today. We also would like to invite you to join us next week for our winning full-length play, Occupied, by Ali Cantor. And in the meantime, over this weekend, we have a lovely show. If you see this program, you might have seen them out on the table. And if you look behind me, you will see a very basic set for our production of Title of Show. So please come and see that as well. It is fantastic. I got to see it on Saturday, and really, the actors are fantastic in it. First up, tonight we're going to see Romantic Camaraderie by Chuck Smith, followed by a 5-minute intermission, and then we will see Happy Hour by Janet Sarno. This evening's performance will be recorded, so please take this moment. Oh, we already silenced our cell phones, so I don't need to say that. And no flash photography, please. We also ask for everyone's safety that you keep your mask on during the show. All of our actors are vaccinated, as am I. Now, I would like to introduce to you the cast of Romantic Camaraderie. So we have Joe, I'm going to say it, Djokovic. Nope. We have Joe, can you say your last name for me?
That is Joe.
This is Joe.
This is Joe.
Djokovic.
Djokovic. Thank you very much. Eileen Kopis, Shelby Kaplan, Roxanne Waite, and Brendan Cheese. Fantastic. So let's welcome and in just a moment, we will love for you to enjoy the show. And in the meantime, if you all want to take a look at your programs, you'll see a lovely To Donate QR code. So you are enjoying this night free of charge. But if you'd like to make a generous donation to Dominion Stage so we can keep doing events like these, please feel free to scan that. It takes you directly to PayPal. And a link to the full playbill is on the left side. Enjoy the show.
Romantic Camaraderie, Scene 1. The set is a table for two at a restaurant. Maggie, the owner, seater, and server of the small restaurant, stands stage right by the offstage entrance. Dan quickly enters stage right where Maggie stands and looks around, then at the one empty table, which theatrically stands for more than one table. This play will take place over the span of 3 days in LA.
May I help you?
I'm here to meet a woman.
Let me show you to your table. I'm the only woman here.
That's what you say. I've been burned once before.
Ouch.
It was more of a singe than a burn.
Always check the Adam's apple.
Yours looks okay, but you're wearing a distracting choker.
It's supposed to distract from the laugh lines around my mouth.
Do you laugh a lot?
Not recently.
I'm here on a blind date, an internet one.
That makes me smile a bit.
You think dating sites are funny?
It was a rueful smile. I've tried a few dating sites, but I've had mixed results. From bad to horrible.
But you're quite attractive.
You should see me without an apron.
Can't you take a compliment?
I have a hard time telling compliments from lies.
Compliments blur the line, but it's mostly benign myopia.
Oh, writer perchance?
A lot of us are in LA.
Writers are liars.
Some are more benign than others.
What about universal truths?
I try to avoid those. They don't sell. I sell just enough to lead a life of genteel poverty.
Oh my, aren't you the catch?
I'm trying to get better at compliments. You're my first test subject of the day.
So it was a benign lie, a white lie.
White lies matter too. No, it's the truth. You are attractive. Back to me. Am I really a catch?
No, that was a flat-out lie. The sarcasm was implied, but not perceived. Still, it was only a first impression.
Well, blind dates depend on first impressions.
What dating site did you use?
La-me.
Okay, I get the narcissism part of me.
The la part is for Los Angeles, which probably also implies narcissism.
Aren't you afraid of mispronunciations?
What do you mean?
What if the la has a long A?
Ooh, now I hear it. Well, that would explain a few of my dates.
Or it could be pronounced lame.
There's a space in the middle. You have to respect spaces.
I speak really fast sometimes.
Or it could be pronounced lame.
Does it have a French accent over the E?
No.
Then you cannot give it the patina that it doesn't deserve.
I think la-me's meaning is quite clear. The la part is perfect, as it's a dating service that goes in LA. I can specialize the search to find women who live near me. The problem is getting women to stay near me for longer than lunch.
You look quite presentable.
Still weak on compliments. Better compliments might improve business for your boss.
I'm the waitress / owner.
The sign says Maggie's Place. Are you Maggie?
Yes.
I'm Dan. Besides the choker, your feminine name is another piece of the puzzle.
The puzzle of my reputed womanhood.
Well, based on my experience with women, there are many more intricate, always moving parts to the puzzle of a woman. And not all are interlocking.
Some men prefer complex women.
And you're one?
Yes.
How's that going so far?
Some confuse complex with difficult.
Some confuse being reticent with having a low sex drive.
We still talking about me?
Probably not.
This restaurant used to be called John and Maggie's.
I thought that not all the light bulbs lit up at night. Getting rid of light bulbs is cheaper than a new sign.
Yeah, easy to get unscrewed.
Going by my experience.
Well, when John left, and as he was the cook, he took half the menu with him, and the waitress.
A hint of humor, but I won't rush to judgment. Some women too easily resort to puns.
In my case, I resort to bums.
I don't know if that's a pun or not. For the moment, I'll generously classify it as wordplay. Bad romantic history?
Some say history is written by the winners, but I think that it's the losers that get all the good footnotes.
Recalculating. I'll upgrade you to fine.
Not witty.
Don't push your luck.
I have to push your luck. Luck doesn't last long, and when it leaves abruptly.
Some say you make your own luck.
How's that working for you?
Probably just as well as for you.
Now I recognize you. You meet all your blind dates here. Generally hot coffee and a cold goodbye.
I can't find the right one.
Look instead for a real one.
Hard to find over brunch. What makes a real one?
A good heart, a compassionate soul, someone who doesn't take up all the bed covers at night.
Poetic, right up until the prosaic end.
A waitress tends to be practical. Good tipping is a good sign of a good heart.
For a man who's leaving you, probably never to return.
I'm used to that.
The good heart of leaving.
And the leaving. Boy, do my feet hurt.
Did you just feel that?
Feel what?
We almost had a moment. Until you took off your shoe.
I'm used to almosts.
You deserve better. But then everyone does.
Saith the writer / philosopher.
You'd think more women would respond positively to that.
Their loss.
Can I get a notarized statement to that effect?
Oh, the heart is a lonely hunter of notarized romantic statements.
Yeah, not as romantic as it sounded in my head.
Yeah, romance needs a while to heat up.
I used to listen to Pirates baseball games on KDKA radio. Hills Brothers Coffee, it's so unbeatable, it's reheatable. I don't think that applies to romance.
When romance grows cold, it's not reheatable.
Do you believe in love at first sight?
I'm not sure I believe in love.
I do. I had it once and I'm searching for it again.
The internet is not the best place to search for love.
still gathering evidence, but your thesis is beginning to sound reasonable.
Don't most women lie online?
Aren't little white lies what most first dates are composed of?
And you accept that?
Yeah, it's not only them lying, but me too.
What do you lie about?
I don't lie. I just try to be someone that I'm not.
Someone they want you to be?
Someone I want to be.
I'll get you a menu so you have something positive to do with your hands.
I've seen your menu before.
Don't order the succulent veal. It's a misnomer. Twice.
It appears that my date is not here yet,
It appears that no one is here.
except you and me.
I'm here all day.
I'm more part-time. Not a good lunch crowd.
Zero people are always a poor crowd.
Health department violations.
Humor.
Opinions may vary.
It was only speculation. I'll wait to see if the small sample size is repeated.
I've heard that the quality that women prize most in a man is a good sense of humor.
Did you hear that from a woman?
No, but I would desperately like to believe it. I love a woman who has a good laugh.
Don't make me laugh.
I bet you have a good laugh.
Oh, I do. My snicker's not bad either. You don't want to hear my guffaw or you would fall in love with me. I once went to a comedy club and I got 3 proposals.
I don't want to take up all your time.
For the moment, you have no competition. You may resume the humor portion of our interaction.
I'll start out with I get no respect jokes. Every joke has a kernel of truth.
A woman appears in the doorway. It's Suzanne, Dan's date.
I think that's your date, lucky girl. I can smell her perfume from here.
Maggie rises and starts to walk to the entrance, but then turns back.
What's her name?
Susan?
Good attention to detail.
She goes to the reception area and greets the woman.
Are you Susan?
Suzanne.
Oh, I must have misheard. Dan is over there waiting for you breathlessly. Or it could be we still have that gas leak problem in the kitchen. The cook hasn't moved for hours.
Is that a joke?
Not to the health department. Right this way.
They go to Dan's table. Dan stands.
Such a gentleman.
I'm Dan.
And she is Suzanne.
I thought that was apparent.
Not apparently. I'll be back with some water.
She leaves stage right.
What can I say?
Dan goes in for the handshake, but Suzanne goes in for the hug, a big one that lasts well after Dan. His hands are pinned to his side and has made an attempt to pull away.
What can I say? I'm a hugger. Besides, my hands are very moist. I have to wring them out every hour.
I'm more of a polite nodder.
Ooh, I like a shy one.
And why might that be?
I'm a people person. I like to draw them out.
I like to stay drawn in. I have no deep, dark secrets.
Oh, I'll be the judge of that.
Maggie pokes her head out of the kitchen in alarm.
Sorry, my mistake. Our smoke detector has been malfunctioning. Go back to your billing and cooing.
Maggie ducks back into the kitchen.
So, what's your story, Mr.
Well, I've been living in LA for
I
quite a while.
know that you're a writer. I've always wanted to be a writer. Fiction, of course, with a personal twist. I've tried a stab at a romance novel, but I always get bogged down on the sex scenes. I don't get into a lot of details. No need to get too sexy about it. Once the stable girl and the prince begin to disrobe, I usually fade into something like the moon gaze down at them with delight. I even do that with inside scenes. The moon, that nasty old voyeur, is always peeking in the window. I don't think sculleries even have windows. Hasn't the moon seen 2 people copulate before? If it was a woman in the moon instead of a man in the moon, I bet she would look away. Nobody wants to see all that sweaty stuff. Certainly not Mother, who lives with me. Don't worry, on Tuesday nights she goes out to play bridge. It's not that I don't like to mess around a little, but I don't like to mess up her side of the bed. The couch and the bed pulls out. I like limited intimacy to be in the dark and as furtive as possible.
It's too soon to talk talk about those things. It's too soon to talk about the weather.
That's fine. I talk a good game, but nobody gets into the end zone. I'm more of a tease, or so I've been told.
Maggie looks out again, this time more urgent.
Does someone need a Heimlich?
I read that a woman should wait 7 dates before having sex with a man.
Are there any provisions on when a guy gets to second base?
The article wasn't that specific.
I'm DAD.
ADD?
No, DAD. I have daddy issues. I am a little ADD though. I like to have a schedule with well-defined milestones.
Could I get the romantic time frame and milestones in writing?
A man after my own mind, if not more. I kind of like you, but don't get any ideas until the third date.
You're already making your milestone schedule, aren't you?
I'll count this as our first date, if I'm not being too presumptuous. A polite pet today is all you will get today, you dirty bird. But just wait until the third day.
I look forward to it.
Despite these demure clothes, I'm surprisingly bosom. It's the exercises. I must increase my bust.
Let's get back to your writing.
As a writer, I'm like a female Truman Capote, a fiction novelist. Capote's book was called In Cold Blood, but mine is called In Hot Blood. That's my working title. What do you think of it?
Well, it lacks a certain furtiveness.
As long as we're speaking from the heart,
Are we?
as writers we must. I know we have just met each other, but unless I am very wrong, there is an electric current between us.
Could be wrong.
I'm not!
Oh, here comes the water. The cool water.
Maggie enters and brings 2 glasses of water and 2 menus under her arm and places them at the table. Suzanne takes 2 fingers and flicks a few drops of water on her fevered brow, and then 1 drop down her décolletage. She looks up at Dan coyly.
Like what you see?
Oh, men love a good sexy laugh.
I've heard that!
Mine's getting hot in here.
Such a little tease.
Men love a tease. It's the anticipation that's so sexy, not the purely physical act. Oddly enough, the act is the anti-climax. How are you 2 kids getting along?
Marvelously.
Suzanne was just telling me that she's a budding writer.
Well, I don't want to brag, but
Oh, please do. I'm fascinated with writers. How do they come up with something from nothing? How do they bravely face the mountain of blank white paper? How do they make words bend to their command?
Well, I first do an outline and
No, but I'm interested not in the mechanics, but in the magic. Is it as if God is dictating to you? Do the characters speak to you? Do they have a life of their own and you're just telling their story to the waiting world?
well, personally,
let you into my own little world of my imagination.
Oh, if you only would, I'd be eternally grateful.
I sit in my office / sewing room. I'm good with my hands. I close my eyes and draw the character's essence into me. The stable girl's yearning for romance, love, and a chance kiss.
Suzanne sets the stage as she acts it out. She is the stable girl, and then the prince.
The stable girl is already in love with the prince. But the prince is above her station, and she is not a novice in the steamy ways of love. The prince is cold on the outside, but he has a warm heart and is looking for love, a wife, and a roll in the I'm not sure if it's in that exact order. Men can be such pigs. But this was centuries ago. And most men were pigs. In fact, a lot of them still are now. I don't mean you, of course. You seem relatively asexual.
Hey!
You wouldn't hurt a fly, much less unzip a fly.
I'll have you know.
Back to my process. Once I have the characters in my mind, I begin to write. I'll start off where I left off in my previous discussion with Dan.
That naughty moon.
A seduction scene.
Oh, I know those well. Some seductions not so well after a lot of wine, but there is knowing. Sometimes the guy even tries to seduce me. A change of pace can be so nice.
I too try to use my own background for such scenes.
Do tell.
Don't tell.
Of course. There's a long gingham nightgown.
Of course.
Gotta tease them, it makes them want you even more.
You're not helping.
And there's a lot of preparation.
Gotta have foreplay.
Sort of. Did I mention that I have my American Girl doll collection and my ex-husband's in my bedroom?
Not necessary in setting the scene. The scene itself is not necessary either.
Well, I can't have the doll seeing us getting all frisky.
Is there a cat involved?
Said Maggie the cat.
Meow. No, silly. Although one of my cats is named Frisky. Frisky means getting intimate. First, I have to tape all of the dolls' eyes shut.
Oh my God.
I have over a dozen of them. Dolls, not cats. Well, it's close. It's the dolls by a nose. It took a while to do the eye taping.
Suzanne creepily recreates this ritual for half a minute. Long enough that Maggie comes over to check on her. Suzanne comes back to the present.
Sometimes my ex-husband would fall asleep while I was doing it. Before doing it, that is. Sometimes I think he was faking it. Besides, I have this sciatica that runs down my leg.
Maggie twirls the finger in the air, and Suzanne freezes in a position that does not require any movement.
What the hell?
Nobody comes in here and I daydream a lot. I used to slip into a daydream, but I found that I could make them close to real. However, it takes two people to really do it. I taught my ex-husband how to do it too, but we often ended up in the backseat of a Mustang with me wearing a cheerleader outfit, and at least I worked for a short while. But when we began to go bowling in the fantasy, I stopped the daydreaming. Stand up.
Dan slowly stands.
When I whirl my finger like this, you do it too. It will let you into the fantasy as an active participant. I'll guide you, and you follow.
I'm not sure. Like this?
The lights go down to sexy.
Okay, I'm getting the hang of it now. It's darker now.
Memories are sepia, but fantasies are dusky and daring.
Lush, slow music plays. Music to slowly dance by.
I think I like fantasy better than reality, but that's probably universal.
Maggie takes his hands, melts into his arms. They begin to dance. At the end, he spins her, and then she spins back into his chest. Then they are chest to chest, kiss ready. They hesitate on the kiss. But as they know from this is only a fantasy, that they are strangers, they step apart, but still hold one another's hands. Maggie spins him back into her, and then they kiss. Then they spin away and separate, still holding each other's hands. He spins her back, and they kiss again, this time longer. They break apart. Maggie mimics that Dan must twirl his fingers together to fully return them to reality. He finally does. Lights go back up, lush music ends. Maggie takes Dan's hand and leads him to the table as Suzanne starts to begin to come out of her stupor.
And not even Motrin can touch the pain down my leg.
fantasy or mine?
A little of both.
Are you leaving?
Of course not, just stretching. Maggie, can we have a few menus?
You silly man, we already have menus. We already have the menu.
Why, so we do. Would you give us a moment alone?
Of course.
Now, Suzanne, what were you saying about that novel?
Surprise, surprise, it has a happy ending.
Lights go down. Suzanne and Dan exit stage right. Scene 2. Lights come up. Maggie is still at her post by the door. A woman comes in. Diana Stone is an actress. She's dressed that way.
I'm looking for a man.
I could have guessed that.
I'm looking for a particular guy.
I would settle for a non-particular guy.
I'm looking for a particular guy from a dating site.
Oh, let me guess. Lamy?
Yes. Is that how it's pronounced? You won't guess how I originally thought it was pronounced.
Oh, you give me too little credit. I have a reservation for Dan for 2 at noon.
I'm a little early
The anticipation can be exciting.
and nerve-wracking.
But you project confidence.
I have to do that. I'm an actress.
Ooh, an actress.
And you've seen me in nothing.
You do nudity?
I didn't mean that. But I will take the fifth on that question. I mean that I have not had any memorable roles.
I can't believe that. You're so attractive.
I know. Besides confidence, I exude sexuality.
Oh, I can feel its power even though I'm straight.
I'm straight too. That's why I used a heterosexual dating site.
Can a dating site be heterosexual? Oh, I guess so. I heard Lamy got fixed up with Christian Mingle, but it didn't work out as Christian Mingle wouldn't put out. So you're not laughing.
Some men don't like a woman with a sense of humor. Luckily, I only have a rudimentary sense of humor. I laugh a lot to cover it up.
A man called me funny the other day, but stopped short of calling me witty.
Oh, you poor thing. It must be terrible being funny.
Oh, I accept my lot and live day to day, sometimes chuckling to myself at my silent riposts. Let me show you to your table.
They walk to the table and Diana takes a seat.
May I have a menu?
Your date should be along soon.
I like to be prepared.
Most blind dates are just for coffee.
I'm often hungry.
Well, the lunchtime menu has many reasonably priced entrees.
Price is no object.
Oh, you plan to go Dutch treat?
There's that close to witty girl again.
There's that rudimentary sense of humor girl again.
Got any rolls?
Of course. I'll be right back.
Maggie walks back to her station on the way to the kitchen, but meets Dan coming in.
Are you Dan? Your lame date awaits.
Very funny.
Oh, I've heard men don't like women who are funny.
I've never found sarcasm funny, and there's a space between la and me.
Well, she's got a lot and a whole lot of me. An actress, don't you know?
I read her credits online. She's no star, but she's been in stuff. She was in Weekend at Party Pier. She was in a CSI episode. She was in Die, My Darling.
Maybe she can be your darling.
Maybe you could be my darling.
Not witty enough.
I'd settle for mildly amusing.
Don't get any ideas.
That's what fantasies are. Unexpressed ideas. We're a mutual fantasy.
And now we're back in the real world. And you have another date. Let's go over to the table. Don't forget to ask her what you've seen her, if you've seen her in anything. Before we go over, how'd the date with Suzanne go?
I lit her down easy. I told her I have an incurable disease.
Boy, you are terrible about letting people down easy.
I'm out of practice. The blind date before Suzanne, I told her I was being transferred to Afghanistan.
Well, no lingering death, so I guess that's an improvement.
She loves to travel. She said she would follow me.
When you hit her with an incurable disease? If I may ask, what was the disease? Writer's block?
Don't joke about writer's block. Never. They don't even know how it's communicated.
If it's writer's block, nothing is communicated.
Maybe they're right about funny women.
Who are they?
frustrated men.
Oh, that takes up a lot of territory. We need to narrow it down a bit.
A real Ellen DeGeneres.
Yeah, she plays for a different team, but I'll take the compliment. I thought you didn't like sarcasm.
I don't. In others. That doesn't mean I'm not above using it myself. You confuse me. I'm looking for positive qualities in you.
I'm a good kisser,
In a fantasy, that wasn't even real.
and yet you kissed me back.
I was being polite. Woody Allen said the heart wants what it wants. However, the subconscious sends a bunch of mixed signals about what it wants. The subconscious rents fantasy space by the half hour. If I had some paper, I could write that down. Now who's got writer's block?
I get it. You don't want to kiss me in front of your date. Don't worry. A good kisser is patient. The other kisser always returns to the scene of a crime with passion.
It was more of a misdemeanor passion.
We can argue all night about the degree of passion. All night.
Promises, promises.
Ooh, maybe even before the 7th date.
Eavesdropper.
You've come back here for another date.
I have 2 coffee dates scheduled, and then I'm done with this stuff. The final date didn't even post a picture. That's how far I've fallen. Got to go. My penultimate blind date is looking for me.
It's more likely she's looking for appetizers.
What?
Now, run to her.
Maggie turns on her heel and goes to where the kitchen supposedly is. Stage right. Dan walks to the table.
Hi, I'm Dan.
Dude.
Dudette?
Blackish?
It certainly was.
No, I was on Blackish.
Oh, the television show about a black family.
I hope the fist bump wasn't cultural appropriation.
Not much too late for that. They use it a lot on Bro-ish.
Funny, you writers. I need someone to write something funny for me. Writers just don't know what to do with me. Well, most writers. You may be the one with a few helpful suggestions. Oh, I just love big, strong men.
You may also need an optometrist.
I love a man who's funny.
You mean that literally?
Another beau mot. That's French for witticism. And no, I don't mean literally.
Merde. That's French for oh, heck.
I try to learn a word a day. I'll try to slip merde into my conversation. Sit down, let's get to know each other.
Diana and Dan sit. Maggie emerges from the kitchen with a small wicker basket with 4 rolls, which are about the size of a baseball. Also a few pats of butter.
I hope I'm not interrupting anything.
Diana reaches eagerly for the rolls, but Maggie pulls them back.
If music be the food of love, play on.
Now that's a non sequitur. I told you I learn a word a day. That one might even be 2 words.
I'm sure you have quite the oral tradition.
How is oral spelled?
A-U-R-A-L.